Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I made this really easy crop top. It is a off the shoulder long sleeve. I think it's really cute and it was really easy to make. So I'm just taking a pound of Lion's brand yarn. This is a weight 4 acrylic yarn. I only used not even half of this, so it depends what size you need, but a pound will probably be enough. Then I'm taking my 5mm hook, and then I'm just going to start chaining. I'm going to start with my slip knot, and then I'm going to create a basic chain long enough to fit halfway around my torso. So wherever you want your crop top to fit around is where you're going to measure it on yourself. It's going to be different for everyone. I think, if I remember correctly, I did about 42, 44 stitches for mine, but that fits around halfway around my body. So then once you have your chain, you're just going to block off the end with your thumb, chain 2, wrap the yarn around your hook, prepare for a double crochet, and go in through the chain that you blocked off. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through the chain. You're going to have 3 left on your hook. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That is a double crochet. Then you're just going to be doing that again. You're going to be placing 1 double crochet in every chain along your row. So once you've completed your row of double crochets, then all you're going to do is chain 1 to begin the next row. Flip over your work. And then you're going to be doing a row of single crochets. So that very first chain that's attached to your chain 1, that is not the first chain of the row. So just find the first chain of the row, put your hook straight through that chain, yarn over, pull through that chain, then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. So that is a single crochet. And then you're just going to repeat that. Place 1 single crochet in every chain in this row. So this whole pattern is going to be alternating between rows of double crochets and then a row of single crochet. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and finish this row of single crochet. So once you have finished your second row, then just chain 2 to begin the next row. And this is going to be another row of double crochets. So find the first stitch in the row and then place your double crochet. So then you're just going to be placing 1 double crochet in every chain of this row, and then once you complete this row, you're just going to chain 1 and do a row of single crochets, and then chain 2, do a row of double crochets. You're going to need to make this portion long enough to cover, if you're doing a crop top, it needs to completely cover your bust, or if you want to make it a little bit longer, just needs to cover whatever you need, whatever you need to cover basically. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of speed through this section because it's really just a really repetitive pattern. So once I have my section long enough, I believe I did 27 rows. That's for a size small. If you want to copy my pattern, that's totally fine. But so now I'm going to be making the arm slots. Normally with a sweater pattern, you would make a little ledge that would fit over your shoulder. But since this is off the shoulder, we are going to just make a small section that is going to be wide enough to fit around your arm. So I'm just going to continue that same thread that I had to make the panel portion. I'm going to chain 2 to begin my row, flip over my work, then I'm going to be placing double crochets. So I'm going to, I believe I did 3 double crochets, so 1 double crochet in each of the next 3 chains. Once you have that, then I'm just going to chain 1 and then flip over my work, and I'm going to kind of repeat the body pattern. So I'm gonna do a row of single crochets. So just place one in each chain. So it should be a total of 4 chains long, but your chain 1 counts as 1, so you're only placing 3, if that makes sense. So then I'm just going to do a row of double crochets, and I'm going to repeat this until it's halfway as long as it takes to get around the width of your arm. And I know that sounds kind of confusing, but if you want to be able to move your arms freely without being too restricted, since it is a off the shoulder, then you're gonna want this little panel to fit completely around your arm, but since you're only making the first half, then it needs to be half of the width. So then I'm just going to cut and tie my yarn, and then do that same exact thing on the other side. And then once I'm finished with that, then all you're going to do is repeat that same exact process one more time. So you're going to make one more back panel with the little arm slots. So then once I have that, I'm just going to begin on the arms. I'm going to start with a slip knot and then make a chain long enough to fit the length of my arm. Since it is a off the shoulder top, obviously it's not going to fit the entire length of your arm, so just keep that in mind when you're measuring the length of your chain. So once I have the size that I need, this is the length of my arm pattern. So basically what I'm gonna do is repeat that same pattern that I did for the body of the top. I'm gonna block off the end with my thumb. I'm going to chain 2 and then place double crochets. The first double crochet going in the chain that I blocked off. So I'm gonna do a row of double crochets, a row of single crochet, a row of double crochets, and we are going to be working the width. So you're going to make this as large as it needs to be able to wrap completely around your arm. So this is the same repetitive pattern, so I am going to skip through it, but I'm just making sure that it fits completely around my arm. So you're going to want to make sure that it's not too tight, because then your top is just going to be really uncomfortable. So I'm going to measure it to my wrist and to my forearm. And once I have the length that I need, I am going to be increasing a little bit on the top, and I'll show you exactly what I do, but just go ahead and get the length that you need and the width that you need to fit around your arm. So now that I'm finished, as you can see, my arm slot is all one size, and obviously the top of my arm is going to need more space than my wrist. So I am going to do a row. About halfway into it, I'm going to switch up from single crochet to a double crochet, just so that the top of my arm has a little bit more width. So I'm going to start with the single crochet side. I'm just going to single crochet a little bit less than halfway across. So wherever your arm needs to start having more width to it, and it's gonna be different for everyone. I'm just kind of gonna eyeball where I feel like I want more width on my arm piece. So I'm just going to mark a chain by just pulling it out, and then I'm just going to single crochet up until that chain. Once I've reached that chain, on the very next chain, I'm going to prepare for a double crochet. I'm going to put my hook directly through the very next chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. So that's a half double crochet that's going to transition into our double crochets. So now for the remainder of the row, I'm going to be placing 1 double crochet in every chain. So once I've reached the end, it should be slightly bigger. I am just going to do 1 more row of an increase halfway through. So I'm going to chain 2, place 1 double crochet in every chain until I reach about where I switched from single crochet to double crochet. Then I'm going to place one more half double crochet in that kind of transition from halfway. And then I'm going to place single crochets in the remainder of the row. So once you are finished, I just cut and made a knot. Then you're going to want to repeat that same exact process one more time for your second arm panel. And then once you have that, all that we have left to do is attach them together. So I am going to go ahead and take my body panel and then just line it up and make sure that you have enough space to completely hold your entire arm panel. If you need to add extra rows, that's fine. So then I'm just going to take the front and the back body panels, and I'm going to be attaching the two arm loops together. You can just tie on new yarn and do this, but I am just going to use the remainder yarn that I have hanging off the sides, just so that this kind of weaves them in. So I'm just going to leave in this whole clip how I did that, but if you don't have enough of yarn left over, then you could totally just tie on new yarn, and just all I'm doing is slip stitching the very top rows together. So once I have that, then your armband should be completely attached. I am just going to tie the remainder and cut that, since that kind of counts as weaving in my yarn while I'm attaching it, so it's kind of like two birds with one stone. But anyway, so I'm just going to cut this excess yarn off, and then I'm going to begin on attaching the arm portion to this little armband. So I'm just gonna lay my two sides flat so that the side we just crocheted together is facing upwards. Then I'm going to align my arm, make sure the wider part is being attached to this. Then I'm just going to kind of flip it up together and tie a double knot. Loop my thread through, tie a double knot, and then I'm going to be attaching this with single crochets. So then once I have completely attached the arm, I'm just going to flip it, and then I'm going to, I didn't cut my yarn, it's still attached, and I'm just going to continue that same thread, and I'm going to go along the under part of the arm and connect that together. Then I'm going to cut and tie it back onto the underarm area, and then connect the sides of the top together. So I'm just repeating the same process that I did. I'm going to be threading my hook through both sides of the work, and I'm going to be attaching it with a single crochet. And then once you are finished with this side, just do this same exact process to the other side. And once I'm finished with that, then you are basically done with your top. All I'm going to do next is attach my thread onto any random chain along the top. We are just going to be doing a basic single crochet edging. This is going to make the top a little bit tighter so that it helps hold up your top when you're wearing it so it doesn't fall down. So I'm just tying my yarn in a double knot, and then I'm going to place my hook through the same chain that I tied my knot, and I'm going to yarn over, pull through the hook. Then I'm going to chain 1 and then begin placing 1 single crochet in every chain. So I'm just going to go all the way around the arm portions, the back side, and then just crochet around the entire front of the top. And once I make my way around, then I'm just going to attach my yarn through the very first chain, cut my yarn, yarn over, pull through, and tighten it. And so now all I have left to do is I'm going to be weaving in all of the loose strings, so I'm just going to be tying all of these off. But once you are finished with this, then you are completely done with the top. I hope you guys like this tutorial. I'm sorry this voiceover was like garbage, like honestly I can't talk today. But yeah, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching.